So I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson on this point. Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So there's an old saying, a broken clock is right twice a day. And of course, that means if a clock is not, a hand dial clock is broke, is not working, or you take the batteries out, wherever those dials lands, if it lands on 2:30, it'll be 2:30 twice a day. And of course, we know that means that even though the clock is mostly wrong, it'll eventually be right. And the same thing can be said for everybody, especially Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, I probably disagree with probably 95% of the things that he says, but there is that 5% of something that he agreed with. Now, he says that I agree with. Now, Dr. Umar Johnson does a lot of podcast interviews, more than I would ever know. And most of the information that these interviews that he does are usually uploaded as YouTube shorts, and that's where I have to source my information from. Again, because I pretty don't know all of the interviews that he do, and he gets around. But he had this one thing to say on a particular interview that he gave.
Booker T said, "Stop begging these white people to accept us and treat us fair. Because once we build ourselves up economically, they will have no choice." You know who proved Booker T right?
Nope.
All the immigrants you see in America. When the Chinese come here, do they really care who's gonna be the next president? When the Arabs open up the gas station, do they really care who's gonna be the next president? When the East Indians open up another hotel, another Dunkin' Donuts, do they care who's gonna be the next president? Do you think any immigrant business in the black community in Atlanta care who your next mayor is gonna be? I own the gas. You still come to me for the gas. You still come to me for your Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. It don't matter who gets elected. And that's what black people don't understand.
So essentially what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying here is that people from other immigrant groups, other countries coming here to America as immigrants, and they prosper, they do well for themselves. And to that end, I've been saying that for years. Matter of fact, if there's any evidence that America is not a racist country full of racist white folks that's hell-bent on, quote-unquote, being supreme over everything, is that very fact. Every group of people who come to this country, including blacks, that's willing to roll up their sleeves, get to work, put the work in, and not be perpetual victims, you're going to prosper in America. Again, and if you look at these immigrant groups, contrary to one of the things he says, they don't come here as no one collective. Now, they oftentimes what you'll see with these immigrant groups is they will band together because they are coming to moving to a new country, and the one thing that's familiar to them are themselves. So obviously they're going to group together, but they don't do it as no one mind or no one Borg hive mind. They do it as individuals. Each individual in that group pulls their part, and everybody in the group pulls their weight, and this is how they prosper. So I completely agree with Dr. Umar Johnson 100% on this point. Here's the problem though. What he said in that video completely flies in the face of everything else that he says about racism and white supremacy. Everything that comes out of his mouth is the white man keeping us down, racism this, racism that, and black folks need to go fight the power with fists in the air, So, but what he just said here is the complete opposite of that. We don't need to do anything. We just need to be productive. If every black person in America, every FBA or IDOs, whatever you want to call them, everybody pulled their own weight, there will be nothing to cry about. And really the biggest problem with the FBAs, the IDOs, and American blacks is the ghetto-minded blacks are in the hood. They're the ones that's dragging down black people as a whole, or black Americans as a whole. But if everybody pulled their own weight, the black community will flourish just like all these other immigrant groups, which again just proves 95% of what he says wrong, as in there's all this systemic racism. So then my question for Dr. Umar Johnson is, why do you keep telling black folks that they're being oppressed in America? Why do you keep bringing up all the black victimhood? Everything, if you believe what he said, if he believes what he said in that video, everything that should come from him, that proceeds from him, or proceeds from him after that, should be self-accountability. Okay? You are responsible for your home, your household. You're responsible for your well-being. And if everybody took responsibility in their well-being, there will be no need for blacks to be crying in America 400 years later. It amazes me, how these immigrants, I've said this before, how these immigrants come to this country and in 30, 40 years got white supremacy mastered, and black folks been under for 400 damn years and you still don't understand it. It literally makes no sense. Again, that just goes to show you where the problem is. But like I say, I completely agree with Dr. Umar Johnson on this. I will stand with him on that point. He's 100% right. The issue isn't the lack thereof of opportunity. The issue isn't the lack thereof of resources. The issue isn't the lack thereof of nothing that can help the black community. The issue is the lack thereof in ourselves. We are the ones as black people, as a whole, that are not taking advantage of everything that America has to offer. Sure, America has its checkered past for us, but that's not the case today. Do we want to sit here and stay stuck on the past, what happened in the past, or are we going to deal with what we have now and today? Anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents. When I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson, of all the videos I put up disagreeing with him, when he says something I agree with, I will most certainly put up a video saying that. And that's what this is right here. But anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.